Yeah, I think I did a couple bike packing races beforehand,
Right.
which is basically just so the Colorado Trail is one of them, and then the Arizona Trail, which is a 750-mile race from the Mexican border to the Utah border across the
Right.
state of Arizona.
Wow. Okay.
And you get to carry your bike across the Grand Canyon at the end, and it's kind of this
Whoa.
like
Okay.
20-mile deal carrying your bike. It's quite a strenuous thing.
Yeah. Whoa. Okay. I remember
But
climbing up that, and that was hard just without, with the small backpacks. So
yeah, no,
quite
it
must have been
sounded
tough.
good in theory, and it was difficult. Yeah. But so I did those.
So those are your training rides then? For
Yeah,
the
they really were.
Going
I mean,
without sleep.
there was part of it was I'd never really ridden a mountain bike, so I signed up for the Colorado Trail race just to get a new experience, and I
Right.
felt like experience in endurance running, and then also with fast packing, and so I had a lot of things down, but just traveling on the bicycle and going for like a 22 hours straight every day for a week is a
Right.
completely different sort of experience.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it was kind of a magical experience on the Arizona Trail where, well, actually on the Colorado Trail, that was my first bikepacking trip, and I remember just getting down and being so refreshed, like mentally, about just this sense of kind of untethered adventure of like, oh, do it yourself, go ride your bike, and go from point A to point B, and you don't sleep and you just go, and it was just this like really eye-opening thing for me. It's like, I love this, I love the community, I love the style of travel, and it sort of brought me back to kind of why I got into ultra running at the beginning. It's just this, just kind of really low-key people.
And no need for kit, just shove on your shoes and off you go.
Yeah, it's really simple and just getting out there, and then the Arizona Trail was it was just a very I don't know, I just felt really good during I was physically a wreck, but mentally I was just in this really great space, and so it gave me a lot of confidence going into the 14ers of like, oh, I can do this, I can I can ride the bike for however many hours a day and just be sleep deprived, and a lot of it's just about acceptance and being comfortable with being uncomfortable, essentially.
Okay.
The
pain threshold and going through that, and
well, yeah, I think like
hanging.
sleep deprivation is a lot of you get really negative. At least I get really negative, and I have this really down on myself, and it's really easy to talk yourself out of stuff, and so it's this constant dialogue that's usually quite negative. And once you start to kind of process that and think, okay, well, I'm just this way because I'm sleep deprived, it sort of shifts things a little bit. I know it sounds really basic, but there is this moment where I was just like, oh, I don't need to be sort of angry and negative. I can just sort of acknowledge that I'm struggling and tired, and that's why I'm sort of feeling these emotions. And then all of a sudden you have a little bit of a shift in kind of how you're seeing things, and it doesn't really become an issue anymore. I mean,
Right.
sleepiness can be an issue, like actually just nodding off and falling asleep, and there is physical realities of just after a certain time you're too tired to stay awake.
Right.
But I'm thinking more, I think that what gets to people in sleep deprivation is more of a mental thing. Once you get past that kind of, I'm sleepy, it's more just, you're refusing to give your body recovery, right, during the event. And so if you accept that, it opens up a lot of doors. Yeah, I eat a pretty good diet usually. I eat a lot of fruits and veggies, and
Right.
kind of whole foods, and I love to cook, and so my wife and I really enjoy being in the kitchen and doing all that. But for the purpose of this trip, I wanted to keep things really, really basic. So I didn't bring a stove. I didn't bring like a sleeping pad. I didn't bring a tent. Everything was just really bare bones. Partly because I thought that was enough to get by, and it wouldn't really impede on my experience at all. You know, so it was just like, okay, I got food. I can buy it. You know, food at the convenience store, and really like what happens is a couple of days in, you're starving all the time. You know, so I can eat anything. And literally anything, and just so much of it, and it was a challenge, like on certain parts of the trip, to really keep enough calories down.
I bet.
Because you know you'll be going on the trail, and there's only so much you can kind of carry with you. So I did a lot of like nuts and kind of trail mix type of things, just quite dense calories.
Yeah.
But then I'd come into towns and get a meal. But you know you can only eat so much in one meal.
Yeah.
So if you're rolling into town, you eat a burger or something and fries, you can't eat 6 of them.
Right.
But you kind of need 6 of them, you know. So it was.
And you're too knackered to eat 6 of them anyway.
Yeah,
probably.
so you're just sitting there, just kind of, you know. And so there's definitely a struggle. You know what I mean? Stoves are really light. They're not really hard to use or anything. I don't know what really it was more of a simplicity thing. Right. You know, I just decided that. There was enough sort of little resupply points, and I was okay with the food. Like it doesn't really seem to matter after a certain point what I'm eating, as long as I'm eating. Okay. You know, I wouldn't say that that's true on a daily basis. No. At all. No. But on that kind of trip, it was just more about calories, you know.